Our goal last week was to make 10 short-form videos for TikTok and Instagram, despite having never made a TikTok video before. Or in my case, I still haven't downloaded the TikTok app. I should probably do that. In this video, I'm gonna share with you how my wife Caroline and I got started, what we learned as complete beginners, and what the process was like. Did we complete all 10 of the short-form videos last week? You're gonna have to stick around to find out, but if you do, maybe you'll get to see one or two of those videos later. Welcome back to our 5-week content creation journey. Last week's video, we told you about the plan for our 2 businesses and the content we want to create, but this week, the creation actually started. We spent the entire week focusing on short-form 60-second vertical video for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Now, I did say we've never created TikTok videos, which is true, but we did create some Instagram Reels back in 2021. However, that was like a decade ago at this point, and we feel pretty rusty. I'll be totally honest with you, we were very intimidated to jump back into creating short-form videos. It's a very weird feeling to have been building businesses for 10 plus years online, but to be trying something new and to feel like a complete beginner again. We wanted to give ourselves some sort of tangible outcome, so we set a goal of 10 short-form 60-second videos created in 1 week. Let's first talk about this loose plan of action we went into for these short-form videos. Our simple process was, number 1, research videos. Number 2, brainstorm ideas and pick 10. Number 3, script each idea with a shot list. And number 4, film and edit them one at a time. We started to do a bit of research on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube just to get a sense of some different video formats and topics that get good engagement and reach in our niche. If you didn't watch our first video on this, then you might not know we are making these videos for our online course software called Teachery, which helps people build and sell beautiful digital products. So our niche is going to be online courses and design. We spent time researching keywords through Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, just trying to see what would come up when we searched. From that initial research, we came up with 4 basic video buckets. Number 1, design. This would be showing the actual process of designing a course in Teachery. Number 2, tools. How to use other software and tools to make course creation easier or more creative. Number 3, supporting tips. These would be general tips for making course creation faster and for selling courses. And lastly, bucket number 4, Teachery tutorials. So this is just highlighting specific features inside Teachery to show how certain aspects of the product work or a new feature releases. Cool, so that gave us a starting point. Now it was about brainstorming ideas for our specific videos after doing all that research. With those 4 buckets in mind, we tried to come up with 10 different video ideas for each bucket. And this is where we enlisted the help of ChatGPT. We love using ChatGPT for things like this. The ideas are never going to be perfect. You're not just going to copy and paste and use them, but it's a really great way to get started, especially when you're looking at a daunting task that maybe you've never done before. No one to tell us no, where to go. From that list, we picked out 10 of our favorite ideas, and we made sure to pick one in each of our different categories. With those 10 ideas picked out, it was time for our first pancake, the first short form video. We didn't write a script. We didn't have a plan. We just thought we'll record Caroline as she's designing a course in Teachery because that was the idea for the video, and it didn't go quite that well. We took turns editing the video footage in CapCut, which is a program we'd never used before. We would record a few things on her screen. We would use her phone to get a couple clips. And by the end of a 6-hour workday, we were left with, well, a 17-second long video that was a pretty crappy first pancake.
First of all, this is a relic. This is the first TikTok ever.
Yeah.
You can't see it. It's so hard to tell what's happening.
It's kind of small.
It's so small. What's happening? Like, what are all the cuts? What's happening? This is where it really
picks up.
And then...
Oh. All right. That's the first pancake right there.
It was just like a whole day of work for that.
It was at this moment we realized this is a much steeper learning curve than we initially expected. But when you're doing anything for the first time, you have to understand it is going to be wildly inefficient, slow, and frustrating because you don't know what you don't know. That first video taught us one major thing. Scripting and basic storyboarding is a must. Every ounce of prep work is absolutely worth it. We need to be able to visualize the end video before we start editing. Scripting makes sure that we're being efficient with our words, hitting that under 60-second mark. And storyboarding helps us think through what's on screen and whether we're using on-screen recorded footage or just iPhone footage. Once that first pancake experience was done, Caroline decided she would make a Notion database of a bunch of different formulas and formats that she liked to try and use as a guide moving forward. This is absolutely a huge recommendation that we would have if you are going to embark on short form video creation.
What? Do you trust me?
Make a list of videos that you like, but actually break them down into storyboards and see how that video came together so that you can replicate a version of that with your own content, and it gives you a much better starting place. The second video went much faster, and Caroline finished it in 4 hours. The thing that we learned is that the longest part of these videos for us is probably going to be designing all of the visuals that are going to end up in the short form videos. The next day, Caroline jumped into our idea list and started looking at some of those formats. Every video felt like she was starting over from scratch because it was a completely different format, but we felt like this was actually really helpful because we learned a lot from every different format that we tried. By the end of the 4th day of working on short form videos, we knew we were not going to hit that 10 video goal, spoiler alert, but we were learning a ton about processes, systems, and getting these videos done in a way that we enjoyed doing them. Just a little bit of a side note here, comparison traps are absolutely real, especially with short form video content. You can watch videos from other people who make these videos all the time, and they make it seem so easy. They've got these good processes, these good systems, and it just makes you feel like you should know all that stuff too, but you have to realize that you don't have the same amount of time invested that they do in this process. It's gonna take you longer in the beginning. It's gonna be more stumbling blocks, learnings, and other things along the way, just like it was for us, and that's okay. During the last 2 days of the week, Caroline actually felt like she got into a good rhythm. She would write a script, maybe do a storyboard, film a couple voiceovers, some clips, record her screen, and it felt like a process was coming together. And now I'm sure you're wondering, where did we end up at the end of that first week? Well, on the final day, Caroline finished her 6th short form video. So we didn't hit 10, but we did get 6 done. And I know what you're thinking, 6 total minutes of short form video output may not seem like a lot for 1 week's worth of work, but we were just getting started. So there was so much we had to learn in that process, and we actually feel really good about it. Let's go over the good news and bad news from this week. The good news, we feel really great about the quality of these 6 videos. We learned a ton about the creation process this week. We learned what formats we don't want to do, and we have a few solid processes ironed out. The bad news, everything takes way longer than you want in the beginning. We learned that while short form videos are short in length, they still take many hours to create, and we did fall short of that goal of 10 videos. So yeah, like any project, we learned a few lessons and we walked away with some skills that we didn't have before, so that's a win. If you're looking for tactical takeaways, we have 3 of them from Caroline's video editing from this past week. Number 1, text-based editing in CapCut is super fast and a way better way to edit that main talking head footage. Number 2, do not try to document the design process. Finish your designs, then figure out how they fit into the story and re-record whatever of the design process you need to at the end. And number 3, this might be a bit of an obvious one, but videos without voiceover or footage of you talking are way easier to edit with just music and visuals, so give yourself a break and throw some of those into your short form video formats. And if you're wondering what is the publishing schedule for our short form videos, well, right now we're just in this 5-week content creation journey, so we're gonna focus on creation, banking that content, and then about a month from now, we'll start posting and we'll be well ahead of our own schedule to then continue to create new content and post it moving forward. And hey, since you watched this far, you get a sneak peek of those 6 short form videos. So you're watching them on screen right now. No audio because copyright issues and whatnot, but they look kind of cool, don't they? All right, that's all you get. That's the sneak peek. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Feel free to grab the links in the description to follow Teachery on TikTok, Instagram, or here on YouTube so you can see the content that we're actually creating that we're talking about in these 5 weeks. And next week's video is going to be about long form articles. So what are we learning about SEO, blogging strategies in 2024? What does a content plan look like for that? Stay tuned and you'll find out.